All right, guys, let's talk about video split testing and how to be ridiculous. Because one of the big parts about scaling a successful Facebook ad campaign in general, right, but also scaling to the same audience or to the same type of audiences is really differentiating your ads, right? And so one of the ways to do that, guys, is making super specific videos only at the beginning. And so what I mean by this, guys, and I've used this to generate a ton of money, is I'll hire a videographer, right? Craigslist is a great way to find one if you live in like a large city or near a film school, right? Finding people like that, or just searching hashtags like videographer, for example, on Instagram. And you can hire a very talented kind of introductory videographer who's trying to build their kind of portfolio for very cheap, like $300 to $500 a day. But before I do this, guys, I kind of plan out exactly what I want to create. I'll literally script it out. And the way that I do that is, again, not trying to reinvent the wheel. I go out and I find the best like 3 to 5 to even 10, advertisers in my niche. Like, for example, if I'm doing entrepreneurship in Amazon, I would go out and find, the best people who have Amazon courses, for example. I would watch all of their videos, right? I would kind of aggregate and collect the best 3 to 5 videos, and I would watch them, and literally I would have a virtual assistant transcribe them sometimes, and I would see which parts that I liked from their scripts. I would see which parts that I liked from their video, and then I would, start to piece together how I wanted to actually create the script and the storyline, and how to present my overall personal story and things like that, kind of as an aggregation of the pieces that I liked from kind of the most successful people out there. Because again, guys, the fastest way to be successful is to model after people who are currently successful, and then kind of add your own creativity and add your own value, and then kind of make improvements and make it better to kind of be specifically catered to you. And so what I'll do, guys, is I'll make kind of a core video, right, where I'll talk about, for example, if it was an Amazon course, I would talk about, the features of the course. I would talk about my story. I would talk about things like that. And it would be kind of a core video. And I think about this, guys, as the final 3/4 of my video, right? And then a really cool tactic that I've, picked up from some other very, very smart advertisers is for the first 1/4, I'll make it kind of unique. I'll make it specific. And the reason that I do that, guys, is, if I'm selling a course on Amazon, and let's say that I want to specifically advertise to accountants, for example, who hate their jobs just like I did, and who want to pick up a passive source of income to be able to kind of live more on their own terms and not work such long hours and kind of doing the same tedious tasks all the time. And so what I would do is I would literally make the first 1/4 of the video say, hey, accountants, are you tired of like crunching numbers on like your calculator, working in a cubicle for busy season, right? Like, I'll make it very ultra specific to a very specific demographic, and then I'll target that demographic on Facebook via interest. So every single person who sees my ad is an accountant, and then they're also interested in entrepreneurship, wanting to own their own business, small business. They're interested in other entrepreneurs, right? And so I know that they are currently an accountant, but they're interested in Amazon, what Amazon has to offer, being an entrepreneur, it's a passive income, right? And you can do this with anything. It could be targeting accountants. It could be targeting people who are still in college, and you say, hey, college students, right? So really like making the very first 1/4 of the video ultra specific, and then making a core kind of video that you can really, that's generic enough that you can really put an intro on it and then have it still be very smooth throughout. And so that's a very, very good way to make ultra specific ads kind of on a budget, right? Because you're still using the same core video, but you're making it specific, and you're making it different, and you're making it unique, right? And the hook is unique to a specific target audience, because the more specific and the more kind of laser targeted you can get right at the beginning of a video, the more you're going to kind of hook people's attention. If they're like, oh, okay, I'm an accountant, right? And then they'll watch. And if getting somebody to watch 3 seconds, 7 seconds of your video, right, is half the battle. And be ridiculous, guys. Have fun. Some of the best marketers in the world, use their creativity, use their creativity to inspire your own creativity. And what I mean by that, guys, is there's people out there who are just doing such a fantastic job, and trying to invent all of this stuff by yourself, when there's entire like corporations, and there's entire companies and groups of people who are doing this full time, right, with multi-million dollar budgets. And so one of the groups of people that I follow most closely, guys, is the Harmon brothers. And so the Harmon brothers are, they're such a good way to kind of scale your Facebook knowledge, scale your quality, right? Because part of scaling on Facebook is not just, raising bids or raising budgets or pausing losing ad campaigns. It's kind of taking your own creativity, taking the quality of your advertisements to the next level. And the best way to do that, guys, is to copy and get inspiration from the best advertisers in the world. And these guys are some of the best advertisers in the world, right? And you've probably seen this video. It's for Squatty Potty, which is kind of a way to align your colon better when you're using the restroom, and it's a unicorn like pooping out a rainbow sherbet, right? And it's hilarious, and it's so shocking because you're just not used to it. It's like this crazy looking unicorn, right? And so I would go through and I would look at every single one of these. Like, look, 467,000 shares, 496,000 shares, 757,000 shares. Like, that's absolutely obscene. These are an obscene amount of shares, right? And so I would watch every single one of these. I would script it out. I would say, okay, what is the story here? What's the, how is the culmination? What's the chronological order that they're presenting things? Because every single thing that these guys do is so picture perfect, pinpoint planned out, right? Nothing at all that they do is, the tiniest bit by chance. One of the other places that I like to kind of get inspiration from, guys, is the Super Bowl, right? The Super Bowl has the most expensive ad slots of any time on, television anywhere in the world at any time of the year, right? And so I'll literally go best Super Bowl commercials of all time, and I'll walk through every single one of these, and I'll look at all of the different ads that they're doing, right? And like, I'm not saying that you're going to go out and like blow up cars or anything like that, but there's Dorito ads that, generate hundreds of millions of dollars that are recorded in a person's backyard with a chip bag and a dog, right? Like, don't think that every single one of these requires like some absolutely absurd budget, right? You can utilize the ideas and the humor and the videography and the storytelling from these ads, right? And you can apply them to your own business and apply them to your own niche. All it takes is a little bit of creativity, and watch all of these, right? Take notes. And that is how you create beautiful, inspired ads without like killing yourself up front or being a master advertiser, right? Use inspiration from the best advertisers in the world. And the best place to find them, in my opinion, guys, is the Harmon Brothers and the Super Bowl, right? So one of the most successful campaigns I've ever run, guys, from like a cost per lead perspective, was where I burned $50,000 in cash in slow motion, right? With like a black scene in the background, super cinematic, intense movie music, right? Which kind of led into my statement that people who aren't, spending advertising dollars correctly are literally lighting money on fire, right? And like, people are shocked when they see burning money. I mean, obviously I didn't burn $50,000. You can buy prop money, which is what a lot of the influencers do probably, where you can buy it for $20 on Amazon. And it looks almost exactly the same. And you can get 50 grand for less than $100, right? And I made, a ton of money from that advertisement, and it cost me $100 out of pocket, plus like $300 for a videography team that I found on Instagram, right? So it cost me $400, and it probably made me 100 grand. So it's probably one of the best investments that I could have possibly ever made, right? And so that is kind of like my video split testing, right? Using the same core video and then just hyper targeting the first fourth, and then actually targeting that specific audience that I'm saying, hey, accountants, hey, college students, right? Specifically talking to them, and then using the core video that I just, hire somebody off Craigslist or Instagram to make super, super quality, guys, because scaling is not just about analytics. It's about scaling your skill set, scaling your quality, right? Be ridiculous, have fun, get inspiration from some of the best advertisers in the world, right? The Harmon Brothers and Super Bowl ads are two of the ways that I find the most inspiration, guys. And so I hope you enjoyed that one, and let's get to the next.